us on your community pulse chain weekly space?
Yeah, man, of course. I definitely wanted to do this. The way that I kind of got into PulsePot, a friend of mine had sacrificed for the project, and they came into like some financial trouble. So I decided, since I'm kind of like I'm not opposed to gambling and things like that, and I'm kind of interested to kind of play around with it now that I have some of these PLSP tokens. But yeah, if you want to just kind of give us a little bit of a rundown first about just maybe like who you are, a little bit of a background, and like how you guys came up with this PulsePot idea, and what have you done basically up until now?
Yeah, sure. That's I have been working in software development for 15 years and in crypto for probably 10. So not actively developing, but at least been following. And I've been following Richard Hart for ever since before he was even mentioning Hex. And so I've just been a community member ever since, and I decided to spend my development power on enriching the Pulse chain ecosystem, and was also building stuff for Hex actually back in the day. But so yeah, we have been building a lot of stuff for Pulse chain. We have built a faucet early in the day. We have been building a IOU service. We have been building a PulsePot. We have been building TYRH, a meme coin. So we have been trying to build a lot of stuff that generates a lot of activity and excitement on the chain, and just bring different products that users have a demand for. And today we're here for biggest project, the PulsePot, and we are finally gone live. And I think today it would be nice to have a lot of good questions from the community, so I can help help you understand what we are trying to achieve.
Definitely. Well, in terms of questions, I know people will probably just request the mic as they have questions, but I myself have a few questions. First of all, I do know that you guys were on BNB chain, right? You guys have like this kind of same setup over there, or what is that like?
It was the initial version deployed over at BNB, and this we are deployed here at Pulse chain is a improved version of that, where we have basically learned from what was good and what was bad, and we have then eliminated what we think was some of the bad things, and then we have improved the product and deployed it here at Pulse chain at the right moment. So an improved product, but also just the deployment time of the BNBP was during a bear market where basically everything had a hard time, right? So I think that the technology over there is still amazing, and it's definitely should be having great times ahead of it as well, together with this one.
Gotcha. Okay, so it launched over on BNB. Obviously, yeah, we've been in a bear market for a long time, so I mean, nobody's really expected things to go crazy. But so in terms of like what you guys have set up over there and over here on Pulse Chain, is it like the same game? Do you guys have anything different over here?
Yes, the games will be mostly the same, but it's mostly the tokenomics around the ecosystem that has been changed. So, the way that the fees are spent are basically only used to buy and burn the share token of the casino, which is PLSP. So on the previous iteration, we actually spent only 85% on distributing to token holders all of the profits. But now we have changed that into a 100% allocation for the buy and burn to the shareholder token, which only starts at a quite low supply of 1 million token amount. So when you have high activity on the games, which is, by the way, a human psychology demand, right? We have seen demand for gambling since probably the history of mankind. So we know the demand is there, and we know that blockchain can match that utility for that demand. So the interesting part will be, how do we map activity and fees to basically buying up and burning the token from the DEX. And right now, during 3 days of activity, it burns 0.2% of the entire supply of the 1 million tokens, which is hard capped and a non-inflationary token. So tying all of the profit, 100% of the profits from a casino which has a humanly nature in demand, will be interesting to see how that affects a token when you only have 1 million 1 million of them, and it is just immutable written into the code that it will spend 100% of the profits to buy up the token and burn it. So we're interested to see where this can go.
That sounds awesome, actually. I wasn't even really aware of that whole feature, like the buying and burning, up until I think you just mentioned it on Twitter just a few days ago on my post. But that's actually a really great feature. I mean, that's if people don't know about that, that's pretty huge, I think. In terms of the fees for like what people have to pay to use the service, right, to gamble and things like that, what are those looking like?
So the upper fee you can pay for a game is 3% when you're a winner. So only the winner pays the fee. And if you're a non-staker average player, you pay a 3% fee. But if you are a staker of the PLSP token, you can reduce that fee to as low as 0.2% on your winnings. So you
so I can stake my PLSP?
Yes, and that way you can basically improve your fee percentage to your advantage. So if you win big, it might be of it might make sense to have a stake, so you could reduce the fee you pay.
And so, do we use the PLSP tokens to gamble with, or do we have to use Pulse Chain tokens, or how does that go?
There's nothing you need to use. Every value is accounted for as $1, so you can use any of the, I think, 20 whitelisted tokens in the casino. Basically, the tokens that you can play with is defined by the liquidity and the supply distribution. So we have taken the most prominent ones and whitelisted them inside of the casino contracts, which means that you can send in any kind of value. Spending PLSP or spending any other is quite the same for you. It's the dollar value that it counts for.
Is there a list of certain tokens that you guys are accepting right now? You said like there's like 20 different ones that are whitelisted.
On the website, you can go to accepted tokens in the bottom left on the menu. We have a menu that says accepted tokens. So we have like some of the more funny ones are like Atropa, PDI. We have VAT. We have 9-inch Mint. We have TYRH. And then we have the main ones from Richard, obviously, with the Hex, the PLSX, the INZ incentive token. And then we have all the stables. So we will be adding more as the ecosystem grows.
Okay, so you're adding more. Is there any way, like, so if like a certain project is like, oh, like we want to like work with PulsePot to see if maybe they'll like accept our token, our users can use their product or whatever. Is that something that you guys are looking at?
Yeah, we have multiple other projects who have contacted us, and we are discussing with them if the liquidity is good enough. Because one thing that is dangerous if someone is betting big and they can in the meanwhile manipulate the price of the token and then just get it down again, and then you have manipulated your betting power inside of a game versus a third party, and that is something that we have to take very seriously with what kind of betting value we are whitelisting. Otherwise, someone will definitely try to manipulate that, and we have enough experience now to know what kind of block times we need to wait, so that you cannot manipulate the price of an asset up in one block transaction like a Dodo flash loan. So you have to sustain a increased price over a serial amount of blocks, which means that any other community member, if it has a distributed supply, could potentially have dumped the price and you would have lost the value. So we have different security measures in place so that we are sure that the liquidity we whitelist is sufficient so that we can guarantee whoever wins a game on the platform will actually get real US dollar value and not just some extremely thin liquidity award.
Right. No, that definitely makes sense. And it's actually, I mean, it's beautiful that you brought that up, right? Because like, what's the best thing about the whole Atropa PDI ecosystem, right? Is that it's got $3.6 million of burned liquidity between Atropa and DAI. So it's no wonder that you guys picked that one up front.
Yeah, exactly. And liquidity is basically all that matters, and it's also about tapping into communities, allowing these different tokens to be better than one. I think it's quite interesting. I heard one community member say the other day that he was surprised he had I think it was Mint token and a Tropa token in his wallet, and he was like, what is this? This sounds interesting. I have to look into what this even is. And that happened because he betted a small amount in a pot, and he was lucky to win, and he got like, I don't know, 10 different tokens in a payout, right? And I think there's some adoption aspects of this as well, where someone
This is crazy. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to stop you right here, but like, you're blowing my mind right now. I didn't know that. I thought people were getting paid in PulsePot or getting paid in PLS or something like that. Like when they win, I didn't think that you're just like sending people all types of tokens. That's
What
amazing.
goes in is what goes out. We just take a 3% cut of the highest value one. So, you know, in some pods we had, I think, 17 different community tokens in at one time, and there was one user who won that entire thing. It's like a pot of gold.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. I don't. I mean, I just found out about that right now. Honestly, I'm sure you can tell, but that is super super cool. So people are going to be able to win possibly like a Tropa or PDI and things like that. They'll look up what it is because it's going to be unknown to so many people. No, that's beautiful, man. That's really great.
It's one of the funny aspects, I think, of the entire thing, where you kind of win a big bag of things that you probably maybe haven't owned before, and now you have to make a decision: do I want to sell it, or maybe do I want to actually search this? This looks interesting. It's a nice symbol in my wallet. It's a beautiful ticker. Who knows? I might research it, right? Um,
Right.
because not everyone has a small part of all 17 projects in community pulse chain, right? But now winning one pot, you might have.
No, and that's crazy. It's so unique because it's like, at any moment, like any of these 17 tokens could just like fly, and like you could just get so much price appreciation from multiple different projects. You may not just be winning a certain dollar value. Obviously, it's going to be an appreciating asset, hopefully, in this bull run.
Definitely. And so we're trying to bring this, kind of what we see as new technology to blockchain, where we try to basically give the more better guarantees to the players, because the money that you spend in these contracts, they are completely shut out of any control from anyone else. It is you and the contract and the player you're playing against. So the money is secured by math, and not only that, also the fairness of the game is secured by math. So when you can apply that kind of utility to a base human demand, I think there's a match that one needs to probably consider, because if you can um, just go Google and you will find a million examples of people who have been scammed in either way, with withdrawn funds that never showed up, or they were closed their account for whatever reason, or all of these scenarios. But with this type of product, that simply cannot happen, because everything is math. It doesn't care who you are, where you're from, where the funds came from, or how big you are, how small you are, where you are in the world, or anything really. So it's just math. You and someone else. It's like making a stake in Hex, basically. It's you, the contract, and someone else entering into that contract as well, and then someone has to win, and it will pay out the funds to the winner, right? So it's that simple, and the only thing that we actually do is provide a front end to visualize those actions on the chain, because the decision on who wins and loses is made on chain. The money is at all times kept on chain, completely off record. So the only thing that PulsePot.io, the website itself, does is actually visualize a lot of action that happens over on the chain. It's the only thing. It's like just a you're looking at a periscope, and through those you see what happens on the contract, right? So I think that's a very important aspect of the project itself, that it over time will become completely immutable, at least with the adjustments of the incentives. But currently it is immutable in the old-fashioned way of, can we access user funds that is bedded? Absolutely no. That part is immutable, where your funds are guaranteed inside of the games as long as they are running.
Interesting. And so I think that you guys have mentioned this before, but you guys have had your contracts audited and things like that.
Yes, we have had them audited, mostly by internal teams, but we have also had it audited by, public audits. But also, I just think the fact that there's so much capital that has been in the games and has been run for so long time over at BNB for over a year, that itself is not any guarantee, but it's definitely some sort of battle-proof, where you could say that it's at least the technology that has been tested in the waters for quite some time, with also significant amount of value.
No, that's definitely true as well. Yeah, man, this is pretty exciting stuff. I'm definitely going to be using it myself. trying to think about some more questions. Is there anything that you wanted to say that maybe you thought of in the time we've been talking?
Well, yeah, sure. So we have created a rewards program for anyone who wants to try. It's like a rakeback system where if you win or you lose, it actually doesn't matter. You will get a wrapped PLSP token as a reward sent to your wallet. So just the fact that you participate in the games will give you a reward. This reward is a wrapped PLSP token, and you have to go to the website and you have to unwrap it. This takes 150 days. You can either do that and you can turn it into a regular liquid 1 PLSP, or you can just sell the wrapped one straight on the market and take a 20% loss on the price. So if you don't have the time to wait 150 days to basically cash in your reward, you can just sell it at a 20% haircut on the market right now, and someone else will have the time and be able to delay gratification and basically just turn a unit-wise profit on that at least. So basically we are using a small percentage of the entire supply to at the early stage of the launch to incentivize people to bet on the games, simply because we are rewarding them with this time delayed wrapped token. So you can check on the site, the rewards page, what the payout rates are, but basically for every $100 that you enter to the pot, you are getting roughly 2 of them back, win or lose.
Oh, really? That's like 2% cash back. That's pretty good. That's like my credit card.
Yeah, but this is in units of the PulsePot token, which means that you are getting two PLSP tokens back, and if it's worth $4.50, you're suddenly getting actually a 10% cashback in USD value.
Damn, you guys really thought of everything, huh?
Well, we also had a lot of time to wait, so we spent that time wisely.
Yeah, so that's true, right? So we had to wait a while because of like the Fetch Oracle, right? And then they were doing their thing with liquid loans, and I don't know whether it was like you guys were kind of like putting on the back burner, or maybe if there was other things that they needed to get done in terms of your guys' project. Could you maybe just talk a little about that?
Yeah, sure. So the situation with Fetch, I think, was very late. Did we get the notice that they weren't going to provide any RNG functions or any outside their protocol price feeds for the next 3 to 6 months? And timelines in software are what they are, and so we decided that we came up with our own RNG, and we believe it is bulletproof enough for certain type of games, but for game types like roulette, we wouldn't have enough confidence in our own RNG that we would probably require the Oracle to come online before we can deploy those type of games. So basically, based on how different the structure in different games are, you kind of have different opportunities to prove the consensus around it. But with roulette specifically, we need an Oracle actually. We are fully dependent on any Oracle project coming online on the chain before we can offer certain type of games. Fetch is currently our best bet, but what it sounds like to me is 3 to 6 months.
Okay, and have there been any mentions of like other Oracle services coming to Pulse Chain that you know of?
Well, I'm in almost daily talks with Chainlink guys, and they are not willing to commit on anything. I've been pushing them for information if they want to take a look at it. Can they just say if they want to deny it? Because they just continue to say that they currently don't have any plans for it. But I would just like them to say that they're not going to do it, or at least, I don't know. They seem very what's the correct word? They seem very defensive about it. So I've been asking literally 20 times. So it doesn't seem to happen.
Yeah. Well, they're pretty deep in with Ethereum, right? Maybe Pulse Chain is looked at as more of like a threat, I guess. What do you think?
Well, just like the rest of the industry, right? They all look pretty badly on most of it. So I think they're just following the industry standard.
Gotcha. So yeah, I just pulled up you guys' PulsePot website. I was just kind of trying to take a look at the games that you guys have. Like, how many games are working right now?
So due to the Fetch launch that we are waiting on, we only have one game live called Jackpot. So basically what you can do is you would be able to enter any token in here of the whitelisted tokens, and after the 3 minute countdown is over, it would find a winner, and it would on chain pay out the entirety of what came into the pot. It would pay that out to the winning wallet. And you can click on the transaction link, and it will open up the Pulse scanner, and you can see the on-chain proof that the winner received all of the tokens from the pot. And also in the same transaction, you can actually see all of the burning of the fee and all of the other things going on.
Oh, cool! All the same transaction hash. That's great. But yeah, no, this is pretty cool looking, and it seems like you guys like launched early, right? Because it's like the fetch Oracle is still in process, and not everything's completed, but you still have a beautiful website up here, and it looks like people are using it for sure. I've been in your Telegram and looking at the different winners and things like that of this jackpot game. It's been fun.
There's definitely been some crazy wins. I think one guy won like $2,700 with a 0.2% chance. I put in $4 or something. So there are winners and losers, right? That's a part of this kind of adult entertainment, and I think that if we have an opportunity here to adopt a huge market for something that there's simply so much demand for across continents and across different industries. So it's just something that has been there forever and will probably continue. So it will outlast most of the other types of tokenomics and types of demands, the interesting part will be how it will be regulated, I think, because how do you regulate something where you only visualizing something, right? You never have the money, you never decide the winner or the loser, you never profit from it, you never get anything, right? How do you regulate that? So even though, as with Hex, or Pulse Chain, where Richard Hart, he put up downloadable front ends and IPFS links, right? You would end up in the same scenario here, because this is just a website that is visualizing stuff. So anyone could buy a $30 cloud host and literally run the site, right? So it will be interesting how all of in so many DeFi applications, what kind of regulations they are going to come up with, and it will be a massive process that I'm quite sure they will have a big struggle on how to regulate.
Yeah, no, it definitely sounds like you're right about that, in my opinion. I'm looking at this jackpot right now. This is actually kind of fun, honestly. Like, so there's like $10 of loan, $10 of PLS, $4 of 9-inch, $7 of Atropa, $1 PDI. But there's like 24 seconds left, and it's like there's 8 participants, right? So the 8 people have a chance to like win $44 basically in all these different tokens. So it's like, and you only able to you have to put in a certain amount to win a certain amount, or like everybody's got to put in. I don't get how that works.
No, you can put in whatever you want. You can put in $1,000 right now, or 10,000, or $1. There's no maximum and no minimum.
But if you win the whole thing.
Yes.
And your chances get better at winning if you put in more.
Everything is in a ratio. So if there's, right. You just have the according percentage chance of winning as to how much US dollar value you put in.
Perfect. Yeah, this is cool. I like it. Maybe I'm gonna hop in one of these, because it's like you don't have to put in a lot, right? You just, and this is only up to $52, and it's live. Like it just ended. I see it just ended. There was 8 participants. Yeah, it's like your chances aren't that bad if there's only 8 people. I don't think.
Well, give it a go, Zach. What can I say?
Yeah, you never know, man. Yeah, that sounds like fun. I mean, I make free PLS from PRS, right? And even if it's just a little bit that I'm making right now, while we're still down, it's like I got some chips to put in there. I'm gonna do that.
We should try to make the record for the most participants in a single round.
Oh shit! I wonder what the pot would get up to. That'd be crazy.
I think we had like 17 participants in one of the rounds.
Oh, that's only been the cap so far? Okay, we gotta get you guys up to like 100 or something.
we have to do a stress test.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I think we can do it today, maybe.
Someone will be lucky.
Yeah. If anybody from the community wants to come up and ask any questions, if not, I don't know. We pretty much went over a lot. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to kind of go over. But yeah, I don't see anybody hitting the request. People are probably just shy.
Oh, okay.
But Yeah, do you know of anything else you wanted to talk about while we're here?
Well, sure. So the future for PulsePot holds a lot of game releases, but not all of them are based on the Fetch Oracle. So we are currently considering building a coin flip game that we will release in probably the next 7 to 10 days. And this coin flip game will be basically imagine the jackpot here, but where you can kind of control your odds. So you can basically say, I want a coin flip where I have a 50-50 chance. I will put in 1,000 die, and then someone can put in 1,000 of whatever is whitelisted, right? So you can end up having a coin flip over 1,000 die, and let's say 20 million PLS, and then that will just happen, and the winner will get paid, and the fee will get burned. So we are building a coin flip game, but also we are doing weighted ratios on the coin flip. So you as a player can define, I want to spend, let's say, 500 die, but I want a 90% chance to win my coin flip. And I will accept someone paying ratio-wise that much less, but someone has to take that 10% chance against me, you know? So you can create these weighted coin flips on chain as well. I think that will be quite interesting.
That is cool. I've never heard of anybody else doing that before. But yeah, like I said, I'm kind of new to all this crypto gaming, casino style stuff. Anyways, I think there was there was one other like crypto casino that launched on Pulse Chain at the beginning. I think it was a scam. I forget even what they were called, but
there was one called Pulse Valley, I remember, but someone told me they rocked. I'm not entirely sure, or they just closed down. Maybe, I don't know.
All right. Yeah, there's been quite a few, but yeah, I mean this looks awesome. I'm definitely going to be using it myself. But we have a guy up here that wants to ask a question. I bet. What's up, Rodrigo?
Hey Jacob. Hey Zach. Thanks for hosting this. Jacob, thank you for what you built. It's amazing. I actually had a nice little trade this morning where you said the RAP PLSP got sold down. That was funny. But yeah, I was wondering about the sports betting. Like, how's that gonna work? Do you have any idea what oracle you use? Maybe you said it, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah, so we would love to do the sports betting, and we already have built the technology to do it because it's actually just a price calls technology, but with some twists. The difficult part is to get real good sports that are on chain. Actually, BNB chain doesn't even have that right now. So imagine Pulse chain; it doesn't even have basic RNG. So if BNB chain has spent 3 years and they haven't gotten sports data matured to a point where on-chain records contracts can actually utilize it, then I think Pulse chain is quite some time away. But maybe Fetch will surprise us. Who knows? But we really need sports data to come from a lot of different reporters for it to be possible. But if they do and do that for the chain we are on, we will love to adopt it as soon as possible because there's such a big market for it, right?
Nice, that's awesome. Well, congrats. I'll be here for the ride. So
thank you, man.
See you.
Thanks, Rodrigo.
So you guys are going to be doing sports betting. That's cool. I didn't know that either.
Well, the funny thing, Zach, is that this is only one game running now, and it has burned in 3 days 0.2% of the supply. What happens when you have like a wide variety of games for the different kind of people who enjoy different kind of games, right? So we have the roulette coming up, the fortune wheels, the sport games, the lotteries, the price predictions, player versus player, or even the slot machines. When you tie all of these games into burning of one single token, then I don't even know where to put a prediction on that. If we were to adopt all of the volume, let's just make an example. If you took stake.com, one of the larger online casinos, if you took their volume and looked at their profit fees per day and applied that to buy pressure and burn pressure on a DEX, that token would definitely be worth more than 1 Bitcoin if there was only 1 million in supply, So I think it's extremely interesting to see if we can have some sort of success by tying this kind of demand into a tokenomic model like this, and what will the effects be of it? Because surely one would think that if activity can be sustained through a broad palette of games, then there should be so much buy pressure applied constantly, literally at every single end game. Is it a roulette spin? Is it a jackpot end? Is it a video slot end? Is it a sport things that ends? Every single end of a game buys the fee up from the decks and burns it. So you would see thousands of buys or buy orders on the decks at all times if you had that kind of activity. And I don't think something like that has been done before, and it would be interesting if we could make something like that a reality. It would be so beautiful.
Yeah, so I mean, just to me, in my understanding of things, like that sounds extremely bullish. I mean, and I don't want to give people financial advice, but it sounds like I got pretty lucky with my sacrifice. My buddy didn't want his anymore, so now I have a couple hundred PLSP tokens, and there's only 1 million, right? There's never going to be more.
Yeah.
And yeah, the volume from all these different games is going to go to buying and burning the token. So I'm definitely going to keep holding it. You said I can stake it somewhere?
You can stake it, but you will not earn any inflation from staking it, simply because we don't have any inflation. So the only thing you can do when you stake is basically improve your own gaming activity. That means that if you make a stake of a certain size, you can reduce the winner fee. So instead of paying the 3% fee as every guy that walks in the door pays, if you stake the token, you can reduce that to, let's say, 2.5 or maybe even 2 if you make a large stake, right? So you can kind of improve your own winner's chance by reducing the fee.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I see how that works. Very, very cool. Let's see. I'm trying to think to see if I have any other questions for you. I mean, this is just looking great, honestly.
The price calls.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, the price calls will be interesting. We just finished developing the price calls, and what that is actually a player versus player model where someone can create a decentralized price prediction call 1-to-1. So imagine that Eric Wall is talking shit on Twitter, and he says Pulse Chain will not cross-sacrifice price the next 3 months, right? You could literally go here and set up that exact bet, and you could send him a link, and you could put in $10,000 and say, put your money where your mouth is. We can deliver that decentralized, immutable, without anyone can touch the funds.
That's crazy. So, like, it can go off of basically when the price hits that price. Basically, somebody's like a winner.
Yeah, the way it works is that when you set up, let's say it was, what is the price of Pulse Chain in 3 months, right? What you're doing is you are creating a data entry that says, when this 90 days has passed, I can check what the price in this liquidity pool is, and it will basically just check the PLS liquidity pool with DAI, and it will check the price of PLS. And if the contract receives a price that is above or under whatever was created 3 months earlier, then it just pays out the entirety of the purse to whoever had the correct equation submitted to the contract, right? So we are able to protect the funds during the entirety of the period, and you can have a public function that calls the price directly to basically decide where the money goes. And everything is done by either the community or the participants of the bet themselves. You're not dependent on the site to do anything for you.
Oh, okay. So that's how it works. It's like a public function.
Yes, but there are so many interesting, I think, things you can do with a price call prediction protocol. For instance, let's just talk, quick and dirty marketing, right? I could put up a price call with $10,000 that said the hex orange address token would dump 90% in the next 3 days, right? Just for the fun of it, like what would happen, right? Would all of who would accept that bet? I think the entirety of the Hex Orange address community, they would love to take a bet on someone predicting the token to go down 90% in price, right? So why would I make a crazy bet like that? Well, now I just had maybe 300 people just came and tried the platform and placed a bet through it, right? So you can use some of these games as indirect marketing in so many interesting ways, where you stimulate different tokens and you can kind of dip into their attention through that.
That's like a little interesting idea I never thought of. But yeah, that's funny how that would work, I guess. So you're basically like kind of prompting them to like go and buy the token or something like that, go and buy their own token so it doesn't go down. Like I'm sorry, I'm not understanding.
Well, imagine you had a Pulse Reflection token, right? And I put a price call out that says I think it will go down in 90% in value over the next 24 hours. Come and bet my $10,000. Like, you would then say, okay, that sounds crazy. I would like to take a bet like that. You know, why would PRS go down 90% in 24 hours? That's easy money, right?
Right.
But when you construct the bet, you can define how much each value can take of that bet, which means that I can put in, I want 200 wallets to become the opposite bet takers of what bet I make. So I can literally force 200 different unique wallets from the Hex Orange address community to basically take up the opposite side of that bet. And then become users of the platform if they want to come and say, hey, I want that money because it didn't happen.
Right, but then wouldn't you still be out $10,000?
Yes, I would, definitely. Okay. And if it actually happens, then I would be up $10,000. But obviously those numbers were exaggerated in what effect that had, right? But you could probably do the same with $1,000, right?
Right. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting.
And same with the Powerballs. We could do lotteries for each community, and we are also considering something we call community battles, where you basically have a jackpot contract, but there's only 5 different community tokens that are playing against each other, and whatever community token wins, all of the other community tokens get sold, and they get bought into the token that won. So it basically pumps the price of that specific one. So if you want to have imagine that you put in PRS and that specific token won the lottery, all of the value that was accumulated from all of the other tokens will get sold and then market bought up PRS and sent to you. So it's like you are basically giving a lottery ticket into a jackpot that would buy up your community token if you win, with all of that capital in the games. So we call it the community battle.
It sounds kind of risky.
Well, everything is risk, right? Life is a risk.
That's true. Yeah. I just wouldn't want to harm the group. You know, I harm myself. That's fine. You know, but not the community.
But you would help the community if your little submission would be lucky enough to win. You would have a large buy order because of your small submission.
Okay, so you're saying that. So if you're the winner, basically you win it all anyways, and it's just you get a lower chance of winning if it's a smaller amount. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. So you don't have to put in a bunch. You can still win the big jackpot, get a big pump, with just a little entry possibly.
Yeah, basically imagine that a Tropa community put in $500,000 of their Tropa token, but you put in $5 of PRS, but by sheer chance you actually won, and now that contract will sell all of those $500,000 of a Tropa and market buy PRS for all of that value and send it to you.
Oh my god, that sounds pretty wild.
That's why it's community battles.
Yeah. Okay. Holy shit. Okay, I get what you're saying though. So, I mean, this is really cool. I cannot wait for just like Pulse Chain to become more adopted. I mean, we see what's happening right now already. Like once people are over here, like just by the droves, like I do think that PulsePot's going to do really, really well because it sounds like sounds like really fun, and you can just use a little bit. You don't have to use a lot, and just kind of just mess around with it. I don't know. I'm gonna play around and see what happens. I mean, I don't expect to win anything really, but it just seems like a good time.
Yeah, well, that's what we hope as well. That you should just take this as pure entertainment and just a bit of spice on everything else, because just making swaps on PulseX or PDS or whatever it's called these days, 9-inch, can be kind of the same thing. I think what we bring here is a bit of spice to that, and we can start seeing Pulse Chain work in different ways, and we are pushing it to what it can actually be used for. Because when you think about it, Pulse Chain will have low gas fees. That is a very big selling point of Pulse Chain. So what could we potentially build on Pulse Chain that creates a lot of activity? And we have to utilize that advantage that it has a low gas fee, right? If we build a hex contract where you make 1 15-year stake, well, sorry to say, we didn't spend it very well, because that's one activity during 15 years. No validator can turn a profit on that, right? But imagine we build a fully fledged casino where everyone is doing all sorts of stuff 24/7. Now the validators get paid, the chain gets adopted, and people are looking because of volume, transactions, everything. That's the kind of DeFi applications we need. Not make one stake for 15 years and not do anything again. That won't work on a layer one. That might work over at Ethereum, but it's not going to work here. So something like this that creates a lot of activity, and creates a little bit of flavor, I think could be interesting to showcase the strengths of Pulse Chain, where we actually can make stuff that has a high frequency activity simply because the gas fees are so low, right? Because there's a reason why we didn't deploy this on Ethereum, because every single submission here would cost $30, and it would be like a game for the super rich or something. It would not make any sense. There would simply be so high fees for every single click on a button that it would be unsustainable. And now it's a product that can actually live. Why? Because of the gas fees. This can happen because we can write data to the chain for a very low cost. So we can build this kind of stuff. So when we have that opportunity to do that, well, better make sure we're going to do it. So that's why we are building stuff like this.
No, that's awesome, man. I definitely tip my hat to you guys. Once again, I'll just call out to anybody in the community. If you guys have questions for Jacob up here, please request the mic. I'm sure that he'll be able to answer anything that you can throw at him. But yeah, for now, I don't know. Rodrigo,
I got a question. What happens when the 100,000 wrap PLSP are done? Is there like a stop contract? Like there's no more gonna be minted? Or how does that work?
So there can only be 100,000 wrap PLSP minted, because that's the supply we reserve for the participation phase. So there will never be any more than 100,000, and when you unwrap them, they are burned. So it's just a 1-to-1 swap after the time delay.
Okay, and from the time you unwrap it, you said there's 150 days to use it, or how does that work?
Depending on your stake, you can get it down to as low as 10 days. But depending on your stake, you start the unwrapping process, you wait the time, and when you have passed the time, you can claim it. And in that claim transaction, will actually burn the wrap one, and it will mint the liquid PLSP one, the real one.
Amazing. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you too, Rodrigo.
all right, man. This has been great.
We're about to break sack race, by the way.
We're about to what?
We're about to reach Pulse sacrifice price.
Holy shit! Yeah, we're at what? Almost 9.4. Almost 9.4, guys. This is great.
That's beautiful.
This is just crazy to watch, man. I mean, did you guys hear about the things with like the sacrifice wallet buying up Pulse and Hex?
Yes, I briefly heard about it, but I've been pretty busy, so I didn't have the time to dive into it. I there's so much going on Twitter that I don't know if half of it is true or what it is, but it seemed like there was a lot of people talking about it for sure.
Jacob, sorry to interrupt. Moon Kings is here. I don't know if you want to pitch him.
Yeah, Moon King, I'm sorry if you just stepped in or whatever, but we've been going over PulsePot. If you want to ask any questions, and you feel free to request the mic, of course. But yeah, Jacob, if you want to kind of fill in anybody that maybe have just gotten in the room.
Yeah, sure. So we have built the first decentralized immutable casino technology for PulseChain. Due to the wait process of Richard Hart delivering PulseChain, we had to test the waters over at BNB. But now we are finally here, and we are able to deploy our product on PulseChain. It's been going for 3 days, I think. We use the experience from over at BNB to improve the tokenomics on the product, or here over at PulsePot. And what we really want to do here is that we wanted to find a high utility area where we can provide the blockchain technology to cover something that we know has a human de facto demand, which gambling does have. Because of that, we really believe that gambling and blockchain has a perfect utility match, and anyone can have any of their opinion about gambling, good or bad, but the fact is that the numbers don't lie. It's a massive industry, and it's only growing, and it has been since the test of time from humans when they were way back. So there will be, and there will be for a long time, a demand for a gambling product. People like to take risks. So why not combine a new technology with that risk? Imagine having a protocol where you can secure the money. Not only that, you can also secure the fairness of the game. So when you combine those two things, you now have a very strong product, because that cannot be said of any of the centralized products that all of the consumers are using right now. They are reliant on the fact that when you click the withdraw button, you're gonna get your money. On this protocol here, you get your payout immediately upon the end of the game, and nobody can stop you from getting that money. The contract and the math in the contract doesn't care who you are, where you're from, how big you are, how small you are. It will do its job, and it will send you the money if you're the winner. So we believe that blockchain and gambling is a perfect combination to actually create something of great utility. And we have decided to develop this technology here at PulseChain simply because it has the low gas fees. We cannot build this on Ethereum because there's way too much activity going on, and everything will drown in fees. But here's PulseChain, we are freed. We can actually build utility products like this because we have the freedom to do so. We don't have to concern ourselves with the high fees of writing data on the chain. So we have developed this product here with high utility and demand, and we are really pleased to see how far we have been able to burn 0.2% of our entire supply, which is 1 million tokens. The PLSP token only has 1 million supply, and all activity on the games will be spent. The fees from that will be spent on buying and burning the PLSP token. So 3% of all games will forever be spent on buying and burning a part of the 1 million token supply. This is I would say is the basic rundown of PulsePot and the type of technology we like to bring to the market.
Hell yeah. I'm a big fan, man. This is I've learned a lot today. I'm really, really excited for the new games to come out. You said, 3 to 6 months. Fetch Oracle was giving you guys as a timeline. That's super exciting. I'm just glad that you guys had launched it now. People can kind of get in early, right? The token price is only $4.74 right now. And in terms of buying and burning, with all the fees that you guys are getting from the casino, that's just gonna deflate that million tokens to I don't even know. You said already 0.2% is already burned. You only have one game going right now. So,
well, we have burned 2,364 PLSP straight from the decks already, and that is in 3 days with only one game. So it will be interesting to see what happens after adoption, bull market, and roulette, sports games, price calls, video slots. Everything running at the same time during a bull market. I'm quite sure that it will burn so much that the price simply has to go up. There's activity is so bound with the price appreciation of this token, because it is really a token that is not based on hype. It is based on core utility.
Right. No, definitely. Yeah. I'm super excited. This is looking great so far. The website looks amazing. just, I mean, yeah, it'd be great to have all these other games running. Like I do, like roulette. When I do go to the casino, sometimes I do play roulette, just because I think it's fun. But yeah, man, if there's anything else you wanted to share, I can't really think of any other questions to ask.
Well, any questions, and we'll be happy to take them for sure.
Yeah. Please, anybody in the community, you guys, once again, please request that microphone and ask away, because Jake is only here for a little while. We get him for about an hour so far, which has been great. But yeah, we would love to answer any more
the biggest 3-minute pot was like $5,700, and it burned 29 PLSP tokens in that 1 3-minute round.
Okay, just in one game.
And that's just a piece of math that is just constantly going every 3 minutes. It's just
that's over 10% of my bag. It just burned in one game.
Yeah.
Wow. No, this is definitely very impressive. I mean, right. So right now there's a game going, guys. There's $5 of Atropa, $5 of Watt, $13 of PLSP, $2 of Ink. And the winner just wins all that, right? So you win all these different tokens. This is going to bring adoption to all these different tokens on Pulse Chain that they're accepting, right? So you said there's like 20 different tokens on PulsePot that you guys accept, and then the winner just wins whatever people choose to put into this jackpot game.
Yes, exactly. Everything that goes in goes out minus the fee. So, you know, we have winners that are so surprised that they open their Internet Money wallet or whatever, and suddenly they have, 16 new community tokens they never had before, right? And then they start thinking, okay, which one should I sell? Which one should I keep? This might be something I should take a look at, and that way I think we can spread a little bit of love all around by simply, as Richard has said many times, logos and symbols and token and tickers and all of that, it matters more than one would imagine. You could wake up the day after and you didn't notice you won a jackpot with 17 different tokens, but if you have a cool ticker and a cool logo and it's up 29% on the daily, you might just have a new customer in your community.
Right. No, exactly. That's why I think this is really cool, because Pulse Chain is so new. New people are going to find PulsePot, right? And they're going to not know what half the tokens on Pulse Chain even are, probably until they come to your guys' protocol.
Yeah, hopefully. And we will take it slow here in the start, and we will just have a slow rollout of all of the games. We don't want to splash everything at one go, so I think we will have like this slow and steady pace where we are over the course of a couple of years, we will roll out maybe 10 or 15 games, and then I think the final boss will be the video slots and the poker. The poker is extremely difficult, but the video slots we have managed to solve in a decentralized way. So actually, we just hired a Unity developer, and we have already made the first prototype where we actually have a completely regular video slot, like you see any pragmatic or any NetEnt or whatever they are called, and you can actually play those directly with your MetaMask. We have developed the technology for that, and it's currently in testing and in showcasing internally. And I think when we can really roll that out, fully video slot play straight from your MetaMask app, I think that would be kind of a game changer.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome, actually. So that's going to be coming pretty soon, you said?
Well, pretty soon is probably not the right answer, because it's so difficult to do. Also, you have a high frequency situation. Imagine you are clicking spin every 1.5 seconds, right? It could be a lot of gas. So we are constructing the game in a slightly different way, where you actually purchase a batch of spins to the game, where it's just visualizing. Instead of buying one result, you are buying 50 results in one batch request, and then you're basically just visualizing those 50 spins. But the on-chain already knows how much you won and how you lost. You're just watching a delayed visualization of the on-chain result, basically. But that is the closest we can get to delivering you a slot machine experience on-chain without getting killed on the gas fees.
Right. No, that definitely makes a lot of sense. Well, cool. Let's see here. I don't know if there's anything else, Jacob. If you have anything else, you can continue to talk about PulsePot. I don't mind. Like, I really want you to get out as much.
Well, honestly, I think we should. I was hoping that there was someone who had some good questions, because I think I've spoken so much about the protocol at this point that, so if anyone has anything, please come up.
Well, maybe that's a good sign, though, that nobody's. Because yeah, people can come up. You please request the microphone, guys, but it just doesn't seem like anybody's doing it. Maybe it's because I've asked a lot of good questions so far. You've been a good explainer, I think, about the whole thing. But yeah, guys, please come on up here. We can't just do this ourselves. I don't know. I don't want to keep you lingering, Jacob, if nobody's going to request.
Of course, for sure. Okay. Well, thank you for listening in, and hopefully we will speak again at some point, Zach. It was nice. You had some good questions, and until next time.